Hey, everybody. Welcome to this Board Game Life episode number 91, titled The Death of Crowdfunding. I am one of your fine hosts today. My name is Rob. And with me, I don't know which way, either on the left or the right, is my good buddy Mark.
On my screen, you're above me. That's because I've got multiple things on my screen.
Okay.
but I'm your number 2 host. The best. The
Who
peacemaker.
does number 2 work for?
I guess I work for number 1. You.
No, that's from Austin Power.
Yes, I know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, I know.
I gotcha. The old toilet seat. Anyway, so this is the first episode post this Board Game Life Con number 2.
Yeah.
And I still have I'm still thinking, I'm like, I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks since. And actually, it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks today. And it's about time for the next one.
Yeah.
We need to get number 3 scheduled. Actually, maybe we could have a mini one, not unofficial, during Gen Con.
There you go. You know we always do, so.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So anyway, today, were you going to say something?
Nope, I'm good.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, so The Death of Crowdfunding is our title today, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we get to that, make sure to check us out on the YouTubes. We've got a ton of great content that Mark is putting out up there. A couple of videos a week and lots of fun stuff on there. So definitely check that out. And also make sure to like and subscribe. And we would definitely greatly appreciate that. And then also, you can find our podcast on our website, on all the different pod places, right? All the usuals. And, definitely subscribe there as well. So anyway, moving on, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing quite a bit. Now, I do have some of these. I went back to when we last did our video podcast right here together. And so we had 1 day left in the con. So I have a couple of games listed that you and I did play. So we can kind of cover those and then what I've played since then. But while you were still here, you taught me La Granja or La Granja.
La Granja.
La Granja. I like to say La Granja.
Yeah, to trigger people.
Exactly. I get triggered every day. I should trigger other people too.
Yeah.
It's about time. So.
Yeah, it's funny how you can like cause people to go kind of nutty, like when you say stuff like spatula instead of spatula. Pass me the spatula. What? Anyway. So La Granja, yeah, great game.
And
using your favorite mechanic.
Multi-card use cards.
Yes. You tuck cards under various places.
This was a fun game, though.
It was.
Probably because it wasn't designed by a certain person.
Hey, come on. Carl Chudik makes good stuff.
See, now you're going to get me on the hate train. I didn't mention his name.
He's a great designer.
If you say so.
One day you will appreciate it.
One day, okay. Just not today. But yeah, no, La Granja was fun. I did enjoy it, and I was glad to. And that was a game you gave me at Gen Con like a year and a half ago, and it has not been played until then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to play Fresco, which was the other one you gave me, but it's on my list. I'm going to get that one played and learned here real soon. Because I know it was another one that you recommended.
It's a classic, yeah.
Yeah, so I need to get that played. But
anyways. It's a classic game, not one that is really popular nowadays, but back in the day it was the bee's knees. Yeah, but one thing I was going to mention about La Granja, which is kind of funky, is when you play it, there's only really like 6 rounds, right? So even though there's a bunch to every round, a bunch of stuff to do for every round, you really don't have a lot of time. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you can only go through and do a little circle of deliveries and stuff like that 6 times. So you really have to figure out what you want to do and where you want to score your points.
Yeah, I've had to pull up. I was just looking at some of the images. I was like trying to remember exactly. There's been so many games. I was like, well, I remember we played it, but I was like, memory is foggy. But yeah, as soon as I look at
Yeah.
the picture, I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Because remember, you weren't getting any resources in yours, right? The stuff
Um,
all the way in the right, like you didn't have a whole lot generating
I
over there.
that yes, that's yeah, one of
Yeah.
those card tucking mechanics that weren't working for me. I was like getting nothing on that part of the game. So,
Yeah.
but I think what was interesting, if I recall, didn't you win by just like 1 point?
I thought you won, but
Oh, I did
previous
win.
games, yeah,
Oh, it was
previous
like a two
games,
point. It was 2 point
yeah.
difference, and even though I didn't have that, I was still able to pull points out from doing other things in the game, which I really like games like that that kind of
Hmm.
offer you more than one way to win. You know, I think Castles of Burgundy was one of my favorites for that. There's just you can completely ignore a part of the game and still be competitive by doing other
Absolutely.
things.
Yep.
And it's like it's a game that's like you can't do everything. So you've got to try to figure out what's the best things to focus on. And I just think that makes it pretty interesting because like you were doing completely different. I kept looking over at your board and I'm like, oh, he gets
Jealous.
resources every time and I get nothing. And yet I still kicked your butt.
Yes, you did.
So
You were looking at my play area and going, "Oh, I wish I had his stuff." But you
that would have
didn't
been,
need it. You didn't need it.
I did not.
Yeah.
All right. So we also plays, I introduced you to Skyrise, one of my
Hmm.
favorite games.
That's a good one. Yep.
It's a good one. It's fantastic. Come on.
Super fantastico. How about
There,
that?
there
Even
you
better.
go. Yeah, a great little auction game. Um, also, then after this, so it's gonna get so the rest of the games we played. So Rob was leaving this night. This was the last day he was here, and I had to take him to the airport late. And I had to go over to my
By
mother's
Uber.
house. Yeah, so because I always have to go over to her place on Mondays to help her out with some things. But so we went there, and she wanted to see Rob because we've been friends forever, and my mom knows him. So
Yeah.
we had dinner over there with her and played some games. So we did play some games over there. We kept the con going, even with her and my youngest son, and we played Flip 7, which is a card game that was like super popular over this year. It just released like around Christmas time and basically was sold out everywhere. It's finally starting to get back into stores. I was able to finally get a copy. I really like this is an extremely simple game. It takes like 30 seconds to explain this game, maybe 1 minute, and
Hmm.
everyone's playing, you know, and it goes quick. It's fun. Everyone I took this to my group recently as well. And I'm like, all right, guys, I didn't think they'd like it because, this is a party game. It's a real simple game, but everyone enjoyed it. They really liked it.
Yeah.
So
No, that's definitely a fun little game. Easy to pick up, easy to play, and it reminds me a little bit of some of those card games like um what's it called? Take Five.
mhm.
It's got a bunch of different names. I can't remember the other ones. Six
Take
Nymph.
Five is also known as
Yeah, Six Nymph, I think.
Six Nymph. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, and No Thanks kind of has like the same
Yep.
feel where you're just like going around. It's like I don't say fast, but um, it's interesting and it's enjoyable.
It's fun.
It's,
It's fun
yeah,
for everybody.
yeah.
It's not a thinker. It's just like a nice starter to the day, to your gaming night, or an ending to the game. Maybe just kind of like something to relax. Maybe you came out of something that just burned your brain, and it's like, okay, I can play this, have a little fun. It's like maybe a 15-minute game. Um,
Mhm.
it does, it goes quick. Another very simple one that we played that my oldest son got me for Christmas this last year was Blank Slate. Again, it's like a word game, and real simple. All you have to do is write down a word on your little your board, your little dry erase board. Someone will say something like truck blank, and then everyone just writes in a word that would follow truck. Maybe truck bed, truck liner, truck, I
Stop.
don't know, stop. You know, and so what you're trying to do is you potentially want to match with only one other person at the table. And if you do, then both of you get 3 points. If you match with more than one person, then those people that all matched only get 1 point. And it's like the first of 25 points wins. So you don't want to be so obscure that you don't match, because then you get nothing. You want to match with someone, but trying to match with just one person. So it's a fun game. It's quick. It's very simple. Great for Like, you can play this. Same with like Flip 7 and Blank Slate. It's fun for people of all ages, younger to old. So, and then Rob taught Deep Dive, and this was a really fun game. I was a little concerned that it was going to be too similar to what's that? What is that little game? I can see it. It's like Deep Sea Adventure Boost or something, I think,
Oh,
from Oink
yeah.
Games.
Deep Sea Adventure from Oink.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like that, and I'm like, oh, it's not going to be very good. I mean, Deep Sea, it's just, I don't know. I mean, this was fun, dude. Deep Dive was a
Yeah.
really fun game from AEG. I really
Yep.
liked this.
Yeah, this was one that we played over at the big game night 2 years
Okay.
ago. Yeah. And it was actually the one that I really wanted to be in the uh big game box, but it wasn't.
Yeah, probably this year, a couple years later.
Or wait, maybe it was. There was
I
something
thought
else.
you did get it,
I
or no,
I,
maybe
I
maybe
thought I
you're.
bought it. Anyway, I don't remember now.
I think you're
Few,
right. I remember
few
you
years
saying
ago.
something about wanting it, and the game you wanted wasn't there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think this was the
lot of
one.
fun.
But yeah, it's a fun push your luck style game that is a nice take on press your luck. I can see where you thought it was going to be like deep sea adventure, but yeah, you don't have to come back up to the surface.
Yeah, woohoo!
You don't have
I'm
to
a
count your oxygen or anything like that.
Penguins can breathe longer underwater
Yeah,
than
but they
humans.
apparently don't do well with sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or squid or octopus or seals or
Yep.
any other large predator.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Um, so that ended the con.
Yep.
After that, I did get to play. Finally, got my copy of Seven Wonders Second Edition. Played. I have played Seven
This
Wonders
is the base
Architects,
game. The base
the
game
the
Seven
original
Wonders.
Seven Wonders.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the second edition. It's their newest release.
Okay.
But I was introduced to Seven Wonders Architects, which I have and love that game. Like, that is so good. And I was like, I should probably get the original and try it out. And I like it, but I like Architects better. I really do. It just it flows quicker. I think it's a little faster. But Seven Wonders was a lot of fun, and I'll play it again. I don't have anything against it at all. So,
Yeah, it's a SDJ winner, if I remember right, from like 10
like,
years ago. Yeah, it's one of the big titles
yeah,
from way
and
back
I can
when.
see why.
Mhm.
So, and it spawned several expansions and a
Yeah.
couple other games. So,
Yep.
all right. I also got to try FinSpan, and that finally arrived. I played that. I did do a review. This was my first official review on the channel. So if you haven't seen it, please go check it out on our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Give me thumbs up and a like. And yeah, I like FinSpan. It's I think we've talked about this before. I don't understand all the hate Stonemeyer Games was getting for this. It's like, oh, you're just trying to ride the wingspan train and milk it for everything you can. Hello, Ticket to Ride. Hello, Azul. Hello, a million other games out there that have Seven Wonders. We just mentioned how many of expansions and spin-offs are there of that. You name it.
Well,
There's sequels, and it's like
isn't Finspan a different game? It just shares the name, or like the
it 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 is different. It's fish instead of birds or dragons. The board and it plays differently, but it's basically taken kind of the base wingspan mechanic and literally turning it on its side, because the board, instead of going horizontal, is now vertical. So you turn the board on its side. But it there's like no, the resources have changed. You don't have to go get resources. It did change the game. I think it simplified wingspan. Um, and I actually really liked it. It plays a lot quicker. We had 5 players on a first game, play it in an hour, and everyone loved it. These were all, again, in my game group, experienced, play heavy games. They're not really a lot into the simpler. They like to play some meatier stuff, and everyone really enjoyed it and said they'd play it again. It's a good game. It's a great entry into the Finspan category, or into the Wingspan group of family of games, and it plays different than the other two. So, again, if you've heard, like, if you're not getting it because you're buying into the stupidity of the internet, check out my review. I'll talk to you about it. I'll show you what the game's like, give you my thoughts and what I think about, whether it's a buy or not, and just make that decision for yourself. But I think it's a fantastic game, so I'll leave it at that. Next is, and I'm gonna do it because for those that are watching, and it's sitting right here.
oh boy, don't throw out your back.
Oh, my marble dice throne missions. That's just half of it. My X-Men, because I got Wolverine here sitting here as well, and I guess I should show a little. Can I show? Yeah, there's Wolverine. I've been playing a lot of the Dice Throne missions. So if you're familiar with Dice Throne, when the first one came out, Dice Throne is a competitive head-to-head game. You can do teams. You can do, there's different ways to mix it up, but it's essentially a 1v1 game. And they came out with Dice Throne Adventures, which was a way to take Dice Throne and turn it into a cooperative game, still playing Dice Throne, but basically playing against AI bots, so to speak. You're fighting bosses together. You're taking these bosses on. Well, Adventures was pretty cool. It was like a dungeon crawl, but man, it was big. It's a table hog. There's a lot going on. And because there was so much in it, I think my kids and I played it maybe 3 times. And it was so hard to get to the table. It was so hard to find the time to, even set the thing up. Like, am I going to set all this up? Uh, Missions, they have basically, it's like it's now a cooperative way to play the game. Missions is an expansion, so you do require some form of Dice Throne character to play it. You don't have to use Marvel characters to play it, but you will be fighting Marvel bosses. But you can play any Dice Throne characters you want. But it's a very streamlined, a lot more simple to set up and run and play. And I find it to be just tremendously a lot more fun than I did the Adventures. And so far, I think I've put six videos out so far just on this. I've got 2 more dropping in the next 2 days. So there's 8 videos on just this, and I'm basically playing through the first 4 missions / bosses. So you can watch me play side 1 of the mission, which is typically henchmen. And if you beat the henchman, you flip the board over, and now you're fighting the boss. So I've broken those out into henchmen and boss fights. You can pick and watch what you want, but I'm going through playing this, and I will be doing some more. I probably will get another boss henchman and a boss fight in tonight. and I'll get it posted, set to post in the future. But I'm really enjoying playing these missions. These are fantastic, and definitely, if you're a Dice Throne fan, get the Marvel Dice Throne missions expansion. And I've been playing it solo. You can play it with multiple people, but I'm having a great time even just playing it solo, going through these missions. It's just been fantastic. So check it out and enjoy. Next thing I played was Cities, which interesting enough, when the box arrived, it was smaller than I thought it was going to be. I guess I thought
Yeah,
Cities was going to
it's
be
not
like a
a
regular
big
sized
ride.
box.
Yeah, it's small.
It is, but oh man, is that game fun! I really like this one a lot, and am looking forward to getting. I did a video. I think I did a video on this one too, I believe, and I gotta double check if I did before I'm saying I did. But excuse me. This one is just like a real simple builder, if you will, like a simplified building. Um, but you're restricted to, like, there's like four different groups. Like, you can get buildings, or you can get what are those things called, like structures, or things like features. I think that's what they call them, like water features or park features. Or you can get cards that will give you points based on what you're doing. And then there was one more thing. Tiles to build out your little city. And and it's like you're limited to, based on how many people are playing, how many you can take on each row. And so what you're taking and leaving for other people, and you can see what everyone else is doing. And it's a quick, really fun city builder that I just find really intriguing. I just really do enjoy that. um, I need to see something real quick. But anyways, I'm pretty sure I put a video out on our YouTube channel, so take a look for that.
Yeah, this is one that's been on my radar for a while because it's got two of my favorite designers, Phil Walker Harding and Steve Finn of Dr. Finn's Games. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, they both make awesome games. And it's one that if I see it at the local game store, I'm definitely snapping it up.
Yeah, I did do an unboxing, and I did do a playthrough of this. I've done so many different things here lately. So
All
there is an
blends
unboxing
together.
and a playthrough on our channel. All right. Yeah, it's super fun.
Mhm.
Also Apiary, which I taught some other
No,
people
no
that
apes
one.
involved.
No apes, it's a bee game. And
Not
this
just bees, space bees.
so it's interesting. I thought this group would really enjoy this game, and
Uh-oh.
one
Uh-oh.
of them really did not. And he's a tough guy to find what he likes. This is my guy who loves Power Grid and Great Western Trail, and he loves Survival of the Fattest, which I didn't expect him to like. But he loves that game, and I'm like, I think he's really going to like Apiary, and he came away from that not liking it all. But I think it's because he really got his butt kicked. But it was like, I'm like, dude, it's like your first game. It's like you're
Yeah,
just learning. I really love Apiary. This is such a fantastic, so much again happening, so many different ways to score points. I really enjoy this game, but
it is a
played
fun
that.
game. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you liked it. So, but Survival of the Fattest, we played that again. Played some Just One, which surprised me. This came from someone else in my group. We were waiting for the whole group to show up, so it's like, oh, let's play some Just One. So we did bust that out for a few minutes. That's where the night we also played Flip 7. We also that night played Hadrian's Wall and Space Base. Ooh, oh, it's upstairs. I need to show you something, Rob. After the call, you got to remind me.
Okay.
Show you my little Space Base edition.
Okay.
So we had like a 5-player Hadrian's Wall, which was really, really fun. That's such a good game. Um, then we played Space Base. There was a guy who'd never played it before. And when we were done, he came up to me. He's like, do you mind if I borrow that? And I'm
Oh,
like, sure,
nice.
no problem. I'm like, absolutely. And then,
Wait a second. I just thought of something. Space Base has card tucking in it. What's your problem with Carl Chuddik games? Right? You
There's a
tuck the
lot different.
cards.
There's a lot different. Okay. The space-based cards do one thing on your
Okay.
turn or one thing on the top of the board if it's someone else's turn.
Yeah. It's not like tuck the bottom left corner to do this, tuck the top to do this,
Right.
flip it around upside down. Yeah.
Put your right foot in, put your right foot out.
Yep. Yep.
So, anyways, he came up and asked to borrow it, and I was like, absolutely, because he wanted to show it to his wife. So I saw him last night at a different group meetup, and he brought it back, and then and it was funny because that night as we were playing, I had made a comment. I said my only complaint about Space Base is that the bottom of the board, you've got these three little cubes, and you're just tracking them back and forth. But it's like it's so easy. If the table gets bumped, your cubes get slid. I'm like, I really wish they'd done a dual layer player board for this where
Oh yeah.
you could put your cubes into a little slot. So the last night, he hands me my game back and says, and then over the weekend, he asked me, he's like, well, what expansions do you have for this? And I was like, oh, I've got, I told him all the expansions I have. And I said, do you want to borrow any of them? Let me know. Well, he didn't say anything. It turns out he was going to print me an insert for my space-based game because he has a lot of 3D printing. He does a ton. And he just was going to print out these inserts for me. But he's like, well, you need the command center box to put everything into it. He's like, so there was no, and he goes, but I did come up with this. And he 3D printed out little plastic overlays that have the little slots for all the cubes. And they're all like and he printed like, I think it's 7 of them. And each one is like a 3-piece thing that sticks together so it folds across the entire board.
Very cool.
And all of them are in different colors. So, whatever a player wants, you can, not that player color matters in it, but it's just here's your pieces for your board. And then he's like, the first time he printed it, he just had like a flat thing that just sat on it. And he's like, but it kept moving. So he's like, he redid it. And now it's got like a lip on it that your card. So like, I think the board, it fits under, or somehow the board will clip into it, and then the thing doesn't move. And I'm like, dude, this is so cool. And he just did that for me. I'm like,
Nice.
dude, that's so awesome. I'm like, that's, so I'm
That's
excited to
very
play
cool.
Space Base again now with my nice little 3D printed cube holders. That's so cool.
Awesome.
But, all right. Next, I played some Bullet Star. I did a solo boss fight and I recorded it. So this is on our website. And now, after the fact, there was some comments in there. I think I played it completely wrong. I think I was completely misinterpreting how to read the cards because I'm like, it was real easy. And I'm like, the
Yeah.
boss never attacked me because I thought I was always doing everything needed to negate the attack. And I think I was reading it incorrectly because I thought if I had like a number one a one chip or bullet or whatever they're little on my card, then I would not get attacked. But I think it's the opposite way, that if you have a 1 on your board, then you will take the attack. So I had some challenges with like reading and trying to understand this game. And I don't know
Sure.
if it's a me issue, if it's I don't know if it's a translation issue. I don't know if I'm making an assumption. I probably should look this up before I make
I
another
think
bigger
it's
fool of myself.
I
It's a
think
me
it's
problem, right?
yeah, yeah.
But um I was struggling, like it was like saying you would avoid like Vespa's attacks, and I'm like, well, Vespa's not in this game. Like the stuff didn't make sense. And then when I flipped the boss card over, it's like the other side is like that character. So I'm like, well, that makes no sense because if you're playing as a boss, then that character can't be in the game. So it was really like I was struggling with trying to understand this game.
Mhm.
And so I think I kind of read it incorrectly. where someone had pointed out in the comments. Thankfully, they came in and said, "Well, Vespa is still the character; they're just the boss version." So, but even though their name's not on that card, but on the other side, but they're still like their attack is still considered that person, I guess. I don't know, but so there was a lot of those types of things, and I think this is because the game was originally Japanese, and I think it might be a translation or the way it's translated, and then you got dummy me trying to understand a rule. I think it just didn't make sense to me. So I was really struggling with that, and in the end, I think I played the whole thing wrong. So I need to go back and try it again.
Right.
But lucky
Actually,
one.
after we played Bullet Heart, I think specifically,
Yep.
um, the other day, I went and I picked up Bullet Star because it was like the only one I could find because they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
And I do have to say that when I opened it up, there was a lot of disappointment
Oh, really?
because it was all cardboard inside. After we played it with those nice plastic or
Wooden.
Bakelite, or what, they were
Wooden.
wooden.
They're
Yeah,
wooden. Yeah.
yeah, with the nice wooden pieces. I opened it up expecting wooden pieces, and then I
Oh,
heard sad trombone, wah 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 wah, and I'm like pouting.
that is called an upgrade, my friend.
I know. It's just different when you're expecting an upgrade components, and you don't have them versus knowing that you need to get them going into it.
Yeah, they're called bullet deluxe bullets,
Okay.
is what they are. I actually bought two. I bought two of them just so I could put one in each box. Um, I know Miniature Market is sold out of them right now, but
Yeah.
you might be able to find them at your favorite shopping online place. I think that's going to be hard to find, friendly local gaming store, but yeah, that's those those are so fun to play with.
Oh
You
yeah.
need to get them.
Yeah, they're back ordered on level 99.
They they should be coming out again because the Kickstarter campaign is going on right now for the Bullet Cubed, I think is what they calling it.
Yeah.
And those are you can get those in there as well.
Hmm.
So that might be another way to take a look, see if you can get it, is to maybe back that, but just get the add-ons there. I think it's through that might be through GameFound. But yeah, that's going to be a
Yeah.
GameFound thing. So you'll have to try that.
Yeah, I just looked at the place where I got them from, which is Card House. And
Okay.
yeah, they're sold out. They still have Bullet Star in stock if anybody's interested.
So I'm looking. It is on GameFound, and I'm just trying to see their add-ons.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and
Oh, they don't have those bullets, do they? Oh, there they are. Yeah. So you can get the deluxe bullets for $25 a box. And you only need one box. I
yeah,
bought two just because I was like, well, I'll put one bag of those wooden bullets into each, one's in Bullet Star, one's in Bullet Heart. Then I don't have to like carry the extra
moving
box
back and
around with
forth.
me
Yeah.
when I'm
Mhm.
take it. So I can just grab either game, put it in my bag, and it has the deluxe components. So
Sure.
but so and this thing I don't know when it's due to ship. But that's one way that you can get them, I guess.
Oh, and it says you need 2 sets if you want to play 5 to 8 players. So there's another reason
There you go.
to get
Well,
the
yeah, that makes
sets.
sense.
Yeah.
Because I think each game is a 1 to 4 player, but you can have
Yeah.
more if you've got more
Yeah.
sets. So,
Mhm.
but anyways, where was I? All right, let's wrap this up. My youngest son wanted to play Jumanji. I don't know if you've ever played Jumanji, but we
Never. I don't
played
want to get
that.
sucked into that world.
Yeah, he was pretty excited to play it. So
Yeah.
we played that. I also got him. I picked up a new game that I'm like, okay, he's gonna like this, and he did. It's Robot Quest Arena.
Oh, good.
Dude, this game is so much fun, but he kicked my butt. I was just like, dude, what is he doing? If you've ever seen like Robot Wars or
Yeah.
something like that on, I don't remember what channel it used to be on, but you're basically this robot and you're just like going out and fighting others in this arena, and there's like upgrades and powers, and you can upgrade you're buying cards from the market to like equip. It's a deck builder, but you're also moving your little robots around and duking it out and using upgraded cards that you put into your hand to get new weapons like flamethrowers and rivet guns. And so there's stuff that does melee, there's stuff that does range, and then on top of that they also have um like expansion characters. So I've got a couple cards here that I'm showing
Oh,
on the
yeah.
screen
Yep.
for the video. These are just the cards, but they come with more robots, more cards, more different things that don't exist in the base game. Like I got defensive sets of defense cards. So in one of them, they came with defense cards that any of the characters can use. So now it's like you can put on this armor and it gives you shields and might give you an extra attack ability or something like that. The other one gave me can't remember what but there was another type of, like, I think it was like a persistent thing. So there's more cards that aren't in the game that are added in. And the base game has like a lot of room, and I showed this on my video. So I did an unboxing of this on the channel, and I was talking about how much room there was, and I actually cut a separate video and put it into that one, showing it, and like when everything was packed in, how I still have room for more tiles, more cards, more robots. And I was like, I kind of expect them to do more of these expansion individual robots. And I looked on BGG the other day, and they've got quite a few different expansions slotted for 2025 for Robot Quest Arena.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, sweet, this is on. I'm going to be buying every one of these. If Rob, do you remember Skylanders?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so if you're not familiar with Skylanders, this was a video game that came out, and you were buying these freaking little characters, and they're like real toys essentially, but
High
you'd set
quality
them on the
too.
what?
Yeah, they're high quality too.
Oh yeah, they
Those
were.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
they were
had
not
what?
cheap
No, they
plastic
weren't.
or yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was very high quality, and they had like a RFID chip, I think, inside of them, because you'd
Yep.
place them on the video game portal that was plugged into your video game system, and then that character would automatically like boom appear in the video game, and then like all its stats and everything, whatever you did, leveling it up, would store out that data on that RFID. So if you took that little miniature and went to a friend's house and put it on their portal, boom, you pop in the game with all your stuff. Like that was like so cool. That's kind of what this reminds me of, in that kind of like I want to get them all type of
Sure.
thing. So these are really cool little miniatures, all painted. They're really big size. They look really cool. Robot Quest Arena. It's not a long game. It's a very pretty short game, and it's a lot of fun for all ages. Again, super fun. Check it out, and feel free to check out the unboxing I did. And then finally, I'm getting to the end, Rob. What are we, 40 minutes in?
Oh, it's all
Thunder
good.
Road Vendetta. I finally got to play this again last night at a new group that I'm probably going to start attending every other Monday. And they had Thunder Road Vendetta on the list, and I signed up. I'm like, yes, I want to play. I got to play as the Big Rig. Decided I've never played as the Big Rig. Almost pulled out a win. I was running away with it till they kind of like realized that, hey, this guy's running away. And then they took me out at the last second. But oh my gosh, this game is so much fun. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to take my Carnival of Chaos expansion up there. They don't have it, haven't played it. And all of the guys that were there last night were like, yes, we want to play this. So I
Oh,
said, I'll
nice.
bring it. So I'm going to get to play that in 2 weeks. So super excited about that. But this they play with like all of the cards, the characters, all the different stuff. So I got to play with some parts of the game I have yet to play. And I'm like, this is just so cool. Thunder Road Vendetta is awesome. Awesome game.
Well done
So,
game. Yep.
yes. So, but that's what I've been playing, Rob.
That's definitely a good list. Definitely a good list. All right. So here, let's you want to run into the news real quick? Or first, how can you contact us if you want? Well, on
Yeah.
YouTube, there's a million videos on YouTube that we've done already. You can do a comment on there, but you can also reach us at thisboardgamelife.com. Send us a message on there, or you can email contact at thisboardgamelife. And we also have voicemail. Almost forgot about that one, right? You can go to our website, click on the little voicemail button, leave us a message up to 90 seconds. And if you send us one, we might play it on the air. All right. So
Cool.
on to the news.
Do, 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 do.
You want to start this one?
Oh, am I up?
Or no, I'll do mine.
You go first.
All
I've been
right.
talking for. I need to.
Yeah.
I
You
need
need a
to
break.
wet the whistle here.
Yeah, you need to do that like that spray, like that perfume bottle. Anyway,
Yep.
yeah. So there's going to be an expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak. So this is one of the CGE games that was really popular a couple of years ago. It's had a couple of expansions since then, and they're coming out with the Lost Ruins of Arnak Adventure Chest. This is going to be out in Q3 of 2025. So, probably in the next, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that, if schedules remain the same. So this expansion offers a new box, apparently, that's going to be sturdier for whatever that means. I don't think the original one was that bad, but it's going to have a sturdier box, maybe just because it's going to hold a lot more and needs to be thicker. So it's going to hold all of the previously released content. It's going to have a brand new Twisted Paths expansion, which is going to have a double-sided map, new guardians, sites, and assistants. And it also contains solo tiles that were only available as a print and play previously. So it does not come with the base game. So basically, you need the base game and all that other good stuff in order to play, of course, as always, with a lot of expansions. And it's going to be, actually, no, we don't have a price on here. I thought there was a price, but I was wrong. So it's, 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. Supposedly plays in 30 minutes. I don't know. You maybe need to be a Arnacologist in order to play it that fast. I don't know. But yeah, that's mine. What you got?
Okie dokie. So I've just got one thing I thought was interesting. There was an article about that Kickstarter is unveiling tools that creators have been asking for I guess some time, but this in 2025 they're finally releasing some stuff for creators that and it sounds like they're just trying to fight off GameFound. Thought this was interesting. So Kickstarter is currently the top dog in the tabletop game crowdfunding with about 220 million of project funding just last year. But that figure has fallen for 3 years in a row and is well down on the record of 270 million that was in 2021. That was probably a COVID bump. GameFound, meanwhile, has been on the rise since transitioning from 7 years as a Kickstarter pledge manager to become a fully fledged crowdfunding operation in 2022. So last year, project funding on GameFound soared 49% to more than 85 million, and total dollars raised from backers reached about 156 million, including its late pledge and pledge manager operations. So as GameFound has been increasingly, you know, taking a bite out of Kickstarter's numbers, Kickstarter has slowly been maneuvering itself to fight off the challenge.
We're trying.
So they've launched their own late pledge capability. They did this last May in an attempt to win back some of the post crowdfunding campaign dollars for itself, and plans to double down on that in 2025 with a new pledge management toolkit. It's also just unveiled Pledge Over Time, which is its version of GameFound's Stretch Pay. So this allows backers on the platform to pay for their commitments in installments instead of having to pay all at once. You can play it,
Yeah.
a couple
And
of.
and lately it seems like you need that with how expensive some of these are.
Oh, tell me
Oh my
about it.
goodness. Yeah.
Um, let's see. They are. Yeah, that one. Let's see. I think that was the big thing you mentioned. um, but yeah, so there's probably other stuff with the paying overtime seems to kind of be the big one. And let's see. So they got a pledge manager by Kickstarter. So they're some of the benefits they're listing here are unified platforms, so you can manage your campaign in one place and delight backers with a seamless experience of managing pledges, selecting add-ons, paying shipping and taxes, all without having to leave the platform, which I do like that. I think it's, especially in today's world, it's like you go and you sign up, and then it's like you get an email that says you need to pay shipping for this, but yet it takes you to backer kit. It's like, well, wait
Yep.
a minute. I did this on Kickstarter. Why is it sending me to another place? I always get that hint of, is this legit? It's like you expect it to be in the same platform. Um, but so they got some new stuff with fee related, no more additional fees, raising more money with add-ons, stuff like that. So they've got more stuff coming out this year. So you might see some, at least if you're a creator and using Kickstarter, they are kind of finally getting around to giving you some new tools. So whether it works or not, or it's a little too late, I guess will remain to be seen. Rob, do you have a preference between the two, or does it not matter to you as a consumer?
What do you mean between GameFound and Kickstarter?
Yeah, if the new Stefan Feld game, if Stefan Feld came to you and said, Rob, I'm going to release the next City game, where do you want me to put it? Would you have a
Put it on
preference
my
of
table. That's where
before it gets to your table? Which crowdfunding would you want me to put it on? What is it? Indiegogo, Backer Kit, GameFound, or Kickstarter? Would you have a preference of where these creators put
I
that? Does
mean,
it
the for me they're all the same because they all take my money.
right?
It seems to me GameFound takes more of my money because everything seems to be like higher production over there and very expensive.
Awakened Realms.
Yes. Which
The
I was actually
700 quality miniatures. You
yeah,
want them sun dropped?
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's all the sun drop add-on plus this plus that. Yeah, it's I'm weak sometimes. But as far as the platforms, yeah, to me it seems like GameFound does more, because it's more about like add-ons and stuff like that. It seems to be more polished than Kickstarter was. Maybe they were sitting on their laurels for too long.
Yeah,
And competition is good. Competition definitely in the end oftentimes is better for the consumer, us,
right.
because we get something better, hopefully, than we would have otherwise. Because if there wasn't a GameFound, if there wasn't BackerKit or Indiegogo or whatever, would Kickstarter have changed at all over the years? I don't know.
No, why
Maybe,
would they?
maybe
That
not.
costs them money to
Yeah,
develop new stuff. So, I mean, that's
exactly.
the way it is with, and that's not a hit against Kickstarter. I got nothing
No,
against
none at all.
Kickstarter. That's just the fact of life. I mean, you know, uh, Ford wouldn't be doing anything if there wasn't a Chevy and a Dodge and a Toyota. you know,
Exactly.
that's your TV companies wouldn't be advancing. Your computer software companies wouldn't be convinced. Yeah, they all need competition. So, um, the one thing that I like, I kind of tend to. I think I prefer GameFound. It seems to be a nicer looking site. I feel like
Yeah.
Kickstarter feels like kind of basic. Like I kind of wish they'd put a little bit more into the presentation, but then again, they're giving me what I need. What I need to see is there, so it's that's fine. But one thing I really like about GameFound is that you can archive stuff. So when you go to your list and it shows all the projects you've backed, you know, I just
Yeah.
discovered this recently. I'm like, okay, this is I got this a year ago. Why is it still showing? Oh, there's a button here. It says archive. Boop, you hit that and it disappears. So now when I look at my projects, I'm just seeing what's current. And
Right.
on Kickstarter, everything is there. Like, and I was even
And
looking at it again today.
and
I'm
it's
like,
that list where you have to like click more to see more,
yes, yes. So
which is
it's not
annoying.
like your recents are shown, which would be fine if everything that I've already checked that I've received was under the hit more to see more button. That would be fine because I'd never have to hit the button. But I have to hit the button because they only show you so much, and then you have to hit it. And for people like you and I that back a lot of crap, there's still stuff in there I want to see. But why do I have to have everything on that list that's already I've already received? That needs to be removed. And then they also have in there things that like you backed and then changed your mind. Why, like they're already done, they've already shipped. Why is that stuff still showing? Like I would like to clean up that list. I only need to see when I go into my projects what I'm currently backing that's active. Once I say I've received it, it should come off my list. And I can do that on GameFound. I can't do that on Kickstarter. So it's not a big deal, but it's a user experience type of thing. And I just prefer GameFound because I can clean up my list. I can see what I want to see. However, I will say this, I will say as a bonus to Kickstarter and a kind of a hit against GameFound, when I do go to GameFound and I go to my little show me my projects, and I'm going to pull this up right now. So I'm looking, I hit it right. I'm at the top. So I got my 20 strong Tanglewoods. I got the Agricola Special Edition, Agricola Dead Harvest because I've got those like they haven't launched, but I'm watching those. And then it's like, oh, other projects you may like. So they put like an advertisement 3 down. Then it's like, oh, here's 3 more, 4. Okay, here's a couple more. Then I see the rest of my list. But it's like they always throw in an ad of other things you might like, which I don't like. That should be removed because I got that from the main page. you know. But anyways, so that's my kind of I got to give GameFound a kind of a I don't like that. Get rid of that. And it's the same stuff that's on the main page when I went to it. So, anyways, always be selling, right?
Yep.
So, but anyways, that's it. Might see some changes if you're a creator. This and use Kickstarter. This should be a really good thing. Give you more options, and I don't know. Maybe prices might go down for us as a consumer because these two platforms are going to be competing. I don't know how that works. I don't know. Probably not. I
They
don't.
take their
Nothing's going to get
cut.
passed on to us.
Yeah.
So, except for the tariffs.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so we talked a little bit about crowdfunding and Kickstarter and stuff. Is there any more you want to talk about crowdfunding?
Yes. Um, I'm wondering is crowdfunding doomed? Is Are we going to see the death of crowdfunding? And I asked this not as a doomsdayer, not as a the sky's falling, but you know it's just a kind of and I made a kind of a laundry list of things I was thinking about, and I was like, because even myself, and I brought this topic up, Rob, because it's something I've been thinking of, and you have access to my list. I share my list with you, the crap I fund, and and it's always
I
growing.
judge you sometimes based on that, by the way.
Why is he buying that? Um, but when I look at the list and I see some things like, man, this isn't coming out for a year and it's probably going to get delayed. Why did I spend, well, like, for example, the Marvel Dice Throne missions, the X-Men expansions, all that stuff. That was a $450 investment. That money was spent a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So I could have put that money in an account and just said, I'm going to save the money till the game comes out, you know, and probably made a few bucks. I'm not going to go, yeah, you're not going to make nothing but pennies. But it's the point of I could have done something else with that money and just bought the game when it came out. Um,
You
and
just would have bought another game with it. Come on, who are you kidding?
I would have bought a lot more games, but I still would have got this when it
Yeah.
comes out, right?
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yep.
I'm still going to get it. But all right, I got sidetracked here. So I clicked off my thing by mistake. All right. Clicked off my notes. But there's talks about games costing more, and you know, they are expensive. Unless you're shopping at Walmart and Target, you probably don't, you're getting the retail versions of games. So for those that are really in the hobby like us, where we want the deluxe versions or we want the games with all the miniatures, or I'm willing to pay out $450 for a board game, right? Some people think that's insane. Um, but it's it is getting more expensive, and I'm seeing some of these games that I'm starting, that I'm backing. Like, oh, I was looking at something the other day, and I'm like, oh, $500. No, I've heard it's a great game, but I can't do that. Um, and I'm finding it hard to buy like just a base game on these crowdfunding sites. Like, oh, here's the retail or here's the base, but you could get for just $20 more. And then it's like, oh, well, then there's all these add-ons, and the next thing you know, you went from a $50 game to $200.
More metal coins.
More metal coins. It's like I've got to have those. I need the deluxe components. So as these things keep going up, you know, I kind of wonder, do I want to keep putting all this money into crowdfunding to have it go out my pocket today, and I sit around from anywhere from a year to 2 years, to some have gone even more before they've gotten shipped? Do we want, are people going to consider that? And that's kind of things I'm considering. Another thing is lack of any real bonuses for backing. I think that some of these pledge goals and the perceived savings are really just marketing. They're like, oh, sometimes they'll put up, here's the retail cost and here's what you're going to save. And I'm like, no, because at the end of it, I'm going to pay more than what I saved just to ship the thing to me, which I don't pay at the store,
Right.
you know? And they're like, oh, you'll get this and you'll get this and you'll get this. And, you know, will I? Like, is that important if it's linen finished rule book compared to a paper rule book or UV coating on my box? Like, I'm not storing my games in my window with the sun hitting them all day. They're in a room that my windows are closed. They're on a shelf. The lights are off unless I'm in here.
They're in your
I,
game cave.
I don't think they need UV protection on them.
Right.
You know, um, there's a lot of projects that get canceled. I was looking in the news today. I saw several that were talked about how they're canceling for these various reasons. And I'm like, people have given their money to you already.
Well, those are
And
the canceled ones. That's before they fund, right?
no, this one was like a month prior to shipment. The company that, and I have to go back. I'll find the article. I know where it's at. So I won't dive into it here. I can send it to you. But it was like this company backed out of the shipment because of all the costs, the increases that actually are starting, I guess, today in the US with tariffs. So they're like backing out. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. People have already paid their money. Like, if you're crowdfunding, there is a risk that we take as funding a project, but I think that's dang near illegal and they should get a lawsuit against them that you can't back out just a month prior to that thing shipping because you're like, oh, costs have gone up. We're just going to cancel this and say, nope, don't, never mind. Like you can't do that. The money's been paid.
Yeah,
And
I know what you're
there's
saying.
a lot of that type of stuff happening. Or they don't make their funding goals, or they find out it costs them too much and they're going bankrupt and they're like, well, it canceled. Well, those people aren't getting their money back. And yes, sometimes a company will step in and go, we're going to take that over and deliver to those people. But that doesn't happen all the time,
Right.
So canceled projects seem to be happening. I'm hearing about it more, and maybe it's always been this way. And it's just now that I've been crowdfunding for like the last year and a half that I'm like, well, I'm seeing this more. Well, I wasn't seeing it when I first started because I wasn't looking for those. But canceled projects, every time I see an
Well,
article like that, it's like, oof, does make me wonder if I want to back something else.
so like right when you back something, let's say on Kickstarter, I'm looking at it right now. It goes rewards aren't guaranteed. Right there on the pledge page. Your pledge
Right.
will support an ambitious creative project that has yet to be developed. There's a risk that despite a creator's efforts, your reward may not be fulfilled. We urge you to consider this risk to pledging.
Hmm.
Kickstarter is not responsible for blah blah blah.
Right.
So, you know, we hope that the social contract of this and monetary contract is well, that it pays through, but there are no guarantees. And what is your recourse then? Can you cancel like a credit card payment or something? Can you
Well,
even do that a year later?
I doubt it. I don't think you could.
Yeah.
I don't think there's course to get your money back. And we are taking the risks, but I feel like sometimes these companies are just like kind of like the government. They just take our money and they do whatever they want. And when everything they do fails, they're like, oh well, and they just move on. It's like, no, what about us? And again, I
Yeah.
get that, and it's not a one item thing here. This is kind of a
Right.
laundry list of things
Hmm.
that. So it's like there are projects being canceled after the fact that they've already collected money for numerous
Or
reasons.
let's say they're unfulfilled, because
Okay.
canceled to me means, canceled, no pledge is collected.
Okay. Okay. Well, whatever. They took your money and now you're not getting your product. That's essentially what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Yes. Okay.
So if you want unfulfilled projects, that works.
Yes.
Another thing is delays, delays, delays. Um, I'll use my dice throne. I love Roxley. I love dice throne. This thing was supposed to be here like 6 months ago. You know,
Yeah.
so on top of the year and a half wait or whatever we have when we get these, then you run into unexpected delays, shipping delays, printing delays, wars. There's stuff that goes on in the world. And again, there's more important things in the world than me getting my Kickstarter or my crowdfunded project, right? That's not the point. But with all of these things that I've been into this for like a year and a half, and I've got stuff that I'm not going to get to the end of this year. And I'll guarantee I don't have anything on my list. I don't think anything on my list is set for 2026. Everything is supposed to deliver this year. But I'll guarantee more than one of them will be delayed to 2026. It's just, yeah, my last one is the end of this year. I just put it as 12/31/2025. I'll guarantee that not going to be the 26th, but I'm sure several of these that are slotted for June of this year. I've got one that was supposed to be out in January of this year. Just got notified. Nope. Now we're looking at June. Because when these things skip or bump, they're always at least 6 months. So that's just kind of another point of could this again the all you take these things just some ideas of these could be the death of crowdfunding because constant delays. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we're paying a lot more money for this game than we would ever pay for in the store. Even if you're
Yeah.
buying the retail version, you're still paying shipping and you're not saving any money despite what it says. Oh, save $10 off the retail. Yeah, but it's costing me $20 to ship the stupid thing.
And you pay tax anyway.
And then, yeah, and you're still paying taxes. So, I don't, that's not the savings is not there. Companies, oh, I think I got this one here twice, but companies canceling orders at the last minute due to increased costs. So this was one I just was reading earlier today that I saw. I'm like, that's garbage. And then another one that I was talking with you earlier. I did I did a review of a game, and it was like my first kind of negative review of a game. It's up on our YouTube, and this game was Flight Plan. And I didn't even realize this, but Rob and I were talking about it the other day, and I pulled up the Kickstarter campaign, and I was like, I don't even remember what I paid for it. And I went and I looked, and I was like, man, I paid this much money for this. And then I happened to notice the stretch goals. One of them we met. They just put on there canceled. I'm like, wait a minute, you canceled this? Like, we met this obligation. So even the things they list that you're going to get, if they make enough money, they can just scrap it and say, nope, you're not getting it. So again, I'm like, why? Why am I spending money and giving these guys money to fund something that turned out to be just garbage, in the end? And I didn't get what I was supposed to get, I know it's a risk,
Yeah.
but I kind of look, and this is just my list of things. I'm sure there's a million more other reasons, and people could talk about other bad experiences that they've got. I've seen people say, like, I didn't even get what I ordered. I ordered the deluxe all in, and they sent me the retail box. Like, what the heck? Or my box showed up and it was smashed. Like, there's you wait for 2 years and it shows up and it's destroyed because it came from other end of the world, and it does happen. I try to get something shipped down the street and it'll show up with, I did a video of my I ordered something from was it Czechoslovakia or no, where, yeah, Czech
From CGE.
CGE. Yeah,
Yep.
Czech games. Yeah, so it was from some Slovakia country, right? And it was inserts for SETI. And dude, the box was like caved in. I was like, what happened? Even the guy with the mail's like, I don't know what happened here. Everything was fine because the company bubble wrapped the crap out of it inside.
Very nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. But like, when I got that box, I was like, no, I've been waiting. You're just imagining this destruction inside. And I was so grateful that this company took the care to properly package everything so that damage didn't occur. And I'm grateful for that.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, and, but I don't know. Those are just some thoughts that I have that's really making me consider about myself doing any more kind of crowdfunding, because it's like, plus, not going to be around forever, Rob. I, what if I keel over in a year? I'm going to have another year after that of games constantly coming in, stuff I paid for that I won't even be here to
Yeah.
play. When do we call? But what are your thoughts? Am I just being a Debbie Downer?
Yes.
Come on, play
No.
devil's advocate.
No. So, the whole crowdfunding thing is it's a rabbit hole that you definitely fall into, and there's a lot of hype with a lot of these, especially with everybody on podcasts and videos, and the on BGG, they're all talking about this stuff because the hype is there for these games, and you do get sucked into it, especially if it's something that you enjoy, right? If it's a style of game that you enjoy, or even like a designer, publisher that you like. But it does take a lot of willpower to basically say no to some of that stuff, because the thing that I've found is I'll get really sucked into some of these projects, and if I actually say like, no, I'll wait for it to come out in retail, half the time, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's like it'll, the campaign will end, it'll be out in retail. Sometimes I'll even see it once it hits retail and it's on the, new game releases shelves at the game stores, and I'll just pass it by. Whereas, if you're in that moment of weakness and then you jump on it, well, it's actually twofold, right? You have to have the willpower to avoid that purchase. Well, that's one of the willpower to get in or to not get into that purchase. And then the deluxe edition or the add-ons is a whole separate thing to kind of like battle, right? Because how many times have you actually, well, maybe you haven't had this issue, but it's like you're sitting there looking at it like, is the deluxe edition worth it? Am I going to play it enough times? I know a lot of times we just look at it and we're like, deluxe edition insta buy, metal coins. Yep, add them on. Why aren't they in the deluxe edition? Why am I buying them separately? But it's something that I've been a little more aware of, and I've really dialed back some of my, notice I say some of my crowdfunding stuff. That city collection from Queen. Oh, please, no more
You're
releases. I'm
you're
begging
not
them.
going to stop that.
I'm begging them. At least not until the end of this year or something. Oh boy, I know what that is. 17 pounds. Final
Yeah,
Girl
baby.
Season 3 Ultimate Box. And is that like it's in your house?
Well, I'm holding on to it.
Yeah, it's an
There's going to be a
armrest.
new video going up here in a little bit.
Oh boy.
I'll give you guys the sneak peek while Rob's talking. I will
Yeah.
unbox this and hopefully not show my shipping label again.
Yeah.
But
I've,
this wasn't crowdfunded.
yeah. And you
This
don't want
was
people to send you stuff? They can send you season 4.
no. This one I actually ordered from a retailer because I missed
Oh,
the.
really?
I didn't get into the final series or the final girl series until like series 3 had already closed their crowdfunding
Yeah.
when I got into it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool!" So I had to buy it from. I had to pre-order the series 3.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because it looks like it's in the shipping from China box.
snap. Oh yeah.
See, if you cut that whole long piece of tape, why couldn't you cut the end?
Woo! Look at that.
Ooh, cardboard. Yay.
Oh.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, this is the
The
ultimate.
whole,
This is everything.
yeah,
This is the big boy.
all 17 pounds of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, now I forgot what I was talking about. So
It doesn't matter
you
because
derailed
I'm
all.
doing an unboxing live on the show. There we go.
Very cool.
Now the lights are. There we go. That
Yeah.
looks better.
Yeah.
So
It's a
there'll be
lot.
an unboxing here. Hurry up, wrap it up. I got a video to do, Rob.
I know, right? No, I forgot what I was saying earlier, but yeah, it's and the one thing I was going to mention too is that I think a lot of the core premise of Kickstarter, for example, and some of those has been let the little guy go through and crowdfund their dream and make it happen. Get people excited and make it happen. And I think more and more, it's not the little guy anymore, right? It's the bigger companies that are doing their thing and they're using Kickstarter for marketing purposes to build hype and stuff. And I mean, to some extent, it's fine, but it's just something that I've noticed that's a definite change. Like Awakened Realms, right? They're always doing their stuff on GameFound, right? I mean,
Yep.
they're just launching Agricola soon,
Yep.
um, on GameFound, and I would argue that Awaken Realms is not a small little outfit.
I would agree.
They just had their AR Next, right?
Yep.
2025. There's a lot of people that work there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of it is really turned into more of like a pre-order, right? It's like you're
Yeah.
giving them, yeah, it's a pre-order system for stuff that's not necessarily finished yet.
Yeah. And I think,
Anyway,
let's see, did these guys trying to figure out if I can see? So the the game I was talking about, Flight Plan, this was like self-funded. This was not a large company. And that's why
sure.
part of me kind of had a problem. I didn't want to really rip into them and, go kind of crazy because they're not a large company. They did this project on their own. And that's probably why one of the rewards got backed out, because they just, costs probably made it prohibitive for them to do it. One of the pledge goals.
And,
And I can, and I'm, I get it. It's not that necessary. It would have been nice. It was a nice pledge goal, but I get it. They're not a large. They're not Van Ryder Games, right? They're not Awakened Realms or Simon. That one annoys me. Simon annoys me the most. Even Queen Games. But at least what I like about, you've mentioned with Queen Games, is when I see their stuff come up, it's like it's a pre-order because you're going to get it in 3 months.
yeah, because they
And
say it's on the boat right now.
yeah, it's already yeah. So I'm fine
Produced.
with doing
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
I guess I think these bigger companies should be doing more like that. Um, I get Awakened Realms in a way. I'm fine with them as well, and it's more of because they're really kind of like that boutique again, where
Yeah.
their games are huge, like tons of miniature, extremely high quality,
Big
and
production. Yeah.
big productions. Exactly. So even their retail games are $100+ right? So I do like having the opportunity. And oh boy, you want to talk about my weakness for Awakened Realms? I found out the other day, Rob, earlier this week, that even after you've spent $300 with them, you can go in and spend more. I'm like, oh, I can sun drop both the original Nemesis and my Retaliation, and I was like, yeah, but my Nemesis Lockdown doesn't have sun drop. I actually thought I should add Lockdown with sun drop miniatures and just give away my copy, because now
That's
I've got
funny.
two with sun drops, one with not,
Oh,
and I'm like,
horrible.
but I ended up spending like another $200 just doing. Oh, look, I'm going to add this, and I'm going to add. Oh man,
Stop the
it's
insanity.
terrible.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I'm getting off track. But I do kind of wish that these companies would go back to the roots of it being not large corporations using it just to take the risk out on their end, because they're basically letting us fund everything. And I don't think a company like Simon or Waken Realms, or someone that is a large all play, I'll throw them under the bus too. You know, they make games all the time, and what they've done is taking crowdfunding to go, hey, here's a way we can get our customers money in advance to kind of take the risk out and them not have to foot the bill ahead of
Well,
time.
mm, I mean, we don't know their financial situation. Maybe they can't do it without, because it's a big effort. It's a huge effort
then
to
then you
make a
shouldn't be in the
game.
business.
Yeah. Or
I
maybe,
can see Simon doing it because we're paying for the licensing,
yeah,
because of for Disney and Marvel and all that. That's not a small licensing fee.
maybe with Awaken Realms, the reason why their games are so high production is because of the fact that they can get that money up front.
Could be.
Because the challenge that some of these publishers have is that they have to use the profits from the prior game to make the new game? And what if there aren't profits from the prior game? You know what I mean? What if it got delayed? What
So,
if it's sitting in the warehouse? What if it didn't sell?
all right, Rob. So I know you're in the market for a new vehicle. Why don't you just go give, I don't know, car company A, go give them, go, why don't you go give them 20 grand and just wait for the next 2 years for them to give you a car?
That's what it was like during COVID. But hey,
You're like, been there, done that.
that's a whole different story.
I get it. I see that, but I know the system is being abused by the large companies. You know,
I wouldn't say it's abused.
I I think
It's
it is by these larger companies. That's why I really respect Stonemeyer. They used to do it, now they don't.
because they don't
They're
have
big
to.
enough.
Yep.
They can make their own stuff. They can stand on their own. They'll come out a couple months in advance and say, "Hey," like FinSpan was like, "We didn't even know they had a new game coming. We all thought it was a joke." It was like a month later, boom, it was on sale for pre-order on their store. A month after that, they're shipping. And a month after that, then they're shipping to retail. It's like, to me, that's what these large game companies should be doing. And I think they shouldn't. I don't think they belong on crowdfunding, but that's another. We've talked about that.
Mhm.
I get what you're saying. If they didn't have crowdfunding, maybe companies like Awakened Realms couldn't do what they're doing. And I
Right.
do really I got a couple of their games. One I backed out of a while back. I have now gone back in and rebacked it just at a lower pledge level. But I really do like their stuff. And yeah, I get maybe they need that. Maybe they're not the big, Mattels of the world, if you will, but I'd be pretty upset to see Mattel out here on crowdfunding going, help us make the Monopoly 3000. No, you've got your money.
Yeah. Actually, a while back, what was it? Hasbro. They were redoing, I think it was Hero Quest. They actually made a website, their own like crowdfunding website, if I remember right. It totally looked just like Kickstarter, but it wasn't.
Wow.
But they got everybody in that pre-order mentality.
Yeah, maybe I'm just too old school. Maybe, because I can see it's smart business, I guess, to do something like this because you're going to have a bunch of people, especially something like that people want. Same with Awakened Realms. They make millions of dollars in their campaigns. People obviously want their stuff, and that allows them to go and make it. You know, where
Yeah.
maybe a game like Nemesis never would have been made if it wasn't possible for something that large scale needed the funding up front. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
No, absolutely. It's the way that it is how it is. How about that?
so you don't. So there you okay. So let's wrap it back
What?
up.
Okay.
Put a bow on this topic.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's the crowdfunding is doomed? Do you think its future is death?
I don't think so. I think it's going to continue. Um, it's going to continue and it'll probably evolve. Just like how now it's way different than it was, I don't know, 10 years ago. It'll probably be
Yeah.
a lot different 10 years from now, 5 years from now. And the stuff that we see on there is just like I kickstarted an air fryer a while back.
What?
Don't judge.
I'm judging you, dude.
It was a very cool air fryer.
How
And it's
many
it's
air
my
fryers there are in the world?
no, this
You
one
can go
does
buy one right now.
it's extremely high tech and it actually does steam injection.
It won't be by time it finally ships to you.
I got it already. But the thing
Oh, okay.
is, it was done by a company that um it was done by a company that I don't think needed to do it. And actually, I got a, I mean, we have both have these Anchor speakerphones that
Yeah.
we use. I use it on a daily basis, and the one that I use for work, I kickstarted it. It
Oh.
was from Anchor, and there's tons of companies even outside the board game space that don't necessarily need it, but they do it. And like we said, it's a pre-order system. So, like my Anchor speaker, the S600, I kickstarted that, and now I'm sure you can get it on Amazon,
Well,
although
yeah.
not at the discount that I got. Actually,
Yeah, but I get
it's
free
entirely
shipping on
cheaper.
it.
Yeah, I know.
You paid shipping.
I'm sure I did, and tax
Oh. Yeah,
and all
I
that
mean,
jazz. Yeah,
I don't know if I don't know if crowdfunding is definitely I don't think it's going to die, but I do think that there's a lot of negatives that I think need to be improved to push it forward. I think there's too many and again, if a lot of these companies could just go to more of a pre-order like Queen Games a couple of months prior and it's shipping, like it's already done and we're going to do it as a pre-order. To me I think more people would do that instead of this, well, you might get it in 2 years if we're not delayed for any
right.
reason in the world, that
Yeah,
it
because
stinks.
I've backed stuff where I thought there was a timetable, and then I get an email 8 months later. We sent our files off to the printer.
Yeah.
Okay,
I expected to have
so
the game in hand. What the heck?
yeah, so the game hasn't even like hardly gone through any development, and I get that a lot of these are done by people that have like day jobs, and they're doing this as a labor of love, and
Right.
it's
But you're not paying $500 for that project.
that's true.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
Like with Flight Plan, if this was their first game and it's not a big company, and I will say I love the name of the company. In a minute, Mom. That's the name of the company. I love it. But you know, it's for them, if this is their first shot, they did a good job, you know.
yeah,
Can I recommend the game? Watch my video and find out. But you know, it's a lot more, they get a lot more lenience from me. Now, had this exact say this game came out from Simon or insert big company name here, I'd have been livid.
right.
Like, you know what I mean? So there is a difference, there is an expectation. And I'm a lot more lenient on a someone trying to make a game for the first time, or even if it's their second or third, but they're a small shop, they're doing it on their own. I get that. I expect delays. I expect some things to be not perfect. Um, you know, and I can be okay with that. But not when it's someone who's a multi-million dollar, billion-dollar company. It's like, no. And you just took my money ahead of time. That's where I kind of struggle with those things. But
Hmm.
no, I agree. I don't think that they're gonna die. I do like it. I don't know why I'm like hooked into it. I'm really trying to I need to
Therapy.
wean myself off of it, and be like, okay, do I really need to back, especially some companies that they're the games are going to be out in retail basically the same time you're getting it, right? I'll play.
Mhm.
um, and do I really need the deluxe version? Now, something like Final Girls Series 3 or the Nemesis games, that's something I want. It's going to be very expensive, or my Marvel Dice Throne or my Dice Throne in general. That that's like a more of a boutique type of thing for me. I know it's going to be expensive. I want everything that they're, you know, I know there's going to be the price. I know I'm going to be waiting. That's something I feel like that's where I need to probably more spend my crowdfunding dollars towards. And maybe the smaller stuff, stop doing it,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
almost seems like the opposite of what I should do. Because why am I supporting the big expensive stuff from big companies? So I'm doing exactly what I say I don't like companies doing, and I'm contributing to it. I'm the problem, Rob.
I know.
Oh,
And I know what you can't do. You can't call me and go, "Hey, you need to talk me out of this." Because I
no,
think,
because you'll get it, and then you'll talk me into something else you saw. So
yeah, because I think you called me once and it was like, "Oh, this thing, talk me out of it," and I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" I think I backed it after you told me about it because I didn't know, or I just would have said, "Do it."
yeah, yeah, you would have said things I can't say on here. You would
Yeah.
have said something like, "Don't be a wuss, just back it."
Yes,
And I've been
exactly.
like, "You're right.
You
Back, let
can't
me
take
up
the
it to
money
the
with you.
all in plan. Why am I doing the basic? Let me get the all in."
Yeah.
So,
Although I will talk you out of the coins. I never get the coins.
my friend Eva, you, yeah, you met her.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, did you see? I think it was when you were there.
Oh yeah, she
Did you
had
see
that.
her like
Yeah.
pirate
Yep.
coins? Oh, dude, those are so cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't, but
Yeah.
those things sold out. I saw something they sold out. They don't. You can't even get them anymore. I guess they're gonna have to do another run. I was like, I saw that somewhere that that
Yeah.
that thing that she bought with the pirate coins had
Hmm.
completely sold out. So those are cool,
Yeah.
but I can't spend that kind of money on metal coins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I've bought like one of the things before they got really crazy with the add-ons of the coins and stuff like that. I bought poker chips, so they were like really nice poker chips, and those are a fine substitute. Just
yeah,
saying.
was it
Like,
Iron Clays? I think is one that she has, which she uses
okay.
for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the big thing is tactile feel and heaviness, and then the poker
Yeah.
chips have that,
Yes.
or not all of them, but
Good poker
good ones.
chips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not your poker chips, not the checkers, but
No.
like a Vegas style poker chip, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So let's I got one more thing I want to talk about. This
Sure.
should be a lot boy, I'm on the negative today, but this should be a lot shouldn't take as long. But I'm curious about what you feel about game companies hiring YouTube influencers to promote their products. And my first thought was um Dice Tower did this recently, like All Play now sponsors Dice Tower.
Hmm.
And I like Dice Tower. I've backed them 2 years in a row now with their campaign. So I support them with money, and I watch their stuff every day.
Sure.
There's a couple shows I religiously watch, like Crowdfunding.
Oh, that's your problem right there. Stop
Yeah,
watching that show.
I know. But I'll be like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, they liked it. Ooh, let me click buy. Um, but now, and this is me, so I'm curious what you think, Rob. And this would be a great, people to send us a voicemail or write into us, at contact@thisboardgamelife.com. Send us an email and we'll read these off in a future episode. But I'm curious what you think. Like, now I feel like the Dice Tower team can't be subjective with any game from All Play that they cover. And I know that I also watch Man versus Meeple, and I know Simon has now brought him on as to be like
Or
I don't know what the official
spokesperson, or
title, but a spokesperson for
yeah.
them. So it again makes me wonder. It's like, well, and I'm sure there's others. I know of like a lot of other people that I watch. They will talk about, hey, this was a paid promotion. Keep that in mind. You
Sure.
know, but that also tells me that, AKA, we're not going to say anything bad about this because we got paid. So just know that up front.
Hmm.
um, I kind of like, does that kind of ruin their reputation? Does that diminish the value of information that they bring, especially if when they're talking about one of those particular games? What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I guess it all depends on how it's executed because when you have, they call it, you called it influencers, right? Or we'll say personalities,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Like what happens in commercials, right? You have Shaq or you know, insert celebrity here. They're, you know, doing whatever product, right? It's like, oh, they're eating, you know, a McDonald's burger, or, you know, they're wearing a watch or some fragrance or whatever it is, right? The companies have been using folks that are popular to push their products for a long time. This is really nothing different.
True.
I think that what happens now is that in the board game space in particular, it's ongoing promotion. So instead of just, hey, promote this game, it's like, hey, you are now our official person to promote all of our products, right?
Hmm.
I mean, there's some of that going on. Um, at that point, I don't think that we're actually getting a review.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a review. It's more like, hey, look at, or like there's some folks on YouTube when they have, let's say, like a Kickstarter promo, it's not a review, and they're actually pretty clear about that in some cases, where it's like, this is a preview. I'm not giving you any opinions. I'm just showing you the game, how it plays, and the components, and then it
Right.
ends there. You know, that I can get. Um, Now, let me ask you this. If a company gets, you know, a podcast to be their spokesperson from that point on, do they no longer do any kind of content in terms of opinion based content moving forward? Is that what we would expect to happen? So, like, no more reviews of that product? Or is it okay if, let's say, if there's a big, let's say if there's like a big team. So, or actually, okay, let's use our show here. So let's say company X
I can be
has
bought. I'm
you,
just saying. I just want to cut you. I can be bought.
but you can try. No, no. Let's say they get you to be their spokesperson, and then what happens? Like, if I do a review of the game, is that the same thing?
Well, it would
You
be the
know?
channel. So they couldn't. They
Yeah,
wouldn't like pick me to do it. So so for Dice Tower, one of the things I noticed that was now on every video when it ends, there is an all play ad.
yeah.
And like they're talking about, oh, thanks for watching our videos. And it's all, but they're showing all pay products or all play
So it's a
products at the end of it.
sponsorship, basically.
But that's every video. So
Yeah,
it's like, and they're, when they're sitting there and they're talking about stuff, there's always on their shelves, there's all play games like in the background now.
okay.
So in my thought was, well, I've always felt I've gotten really honest reviews, and I still think they're doing honest reviews, but I haven't like really I haven't gone back, and it was like something I thought of just in the last couple of
Yeah,
days. Well, actually, it was, I can't say that. I got to be honest, it's been today because I saw the article about
yeah,
Man versus Meeple, and I'm like, man, there's another one that I watch. And I was like, kind of made this question like, how does that affect their channels and how people think about them? So, like, I still watch Dice Tower, I still support them, but I also feel like, well, if you're getting backed by All Play, do you really need to do the crowd? Because now it's a bigger company that's sponsoring them, and I kind of feel like they're now attached to All Play because every video is All Play sponsored essentially. So it kind of changing my thinking about, well, do I need to support them? The answer is probably yes. They're probably not getting that much money, but it was beneficial for them to keep in business, and um, maybe they don't need to get as much of crowdfunding every year to stay in business. But then it's like, okay, well that's cool. I get that, but does now can I trust their reviews when they're reviewing an all play game? I can't see them saying anything negative. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. And I really like Man versus Meeple. I really like their show. And so now again, it was like, well, if he's a CMON sponsor, is he going to just, again, is he going to say that? Okay, and maybe he might. Hey, remember, I'm going to review this new game from them, but I'm a spokesperson, I work for them type of thing. Keep that in mind. And he might, um, but what's that mean for the other guy that's on there? Like, kind of like what you said with us. I think it's, I always see the one guy, and I'm totally drawing a blank on their names, but I can see them in my mind. It was like the one guy's picture was in the article, not the other guy. I'll have to go back and read the article. Did the whole channel become a sponsor of CMON or just the one guy? So I don't know, because what's that mean? If that's their channel, like if Rob and Mark gets hired by CMON to represent them, and I'm like, hey, this game is awesome, and Rob's like, dude, this game sucks. Okay, am I going to lose out and be kicked out because we're on the same channel? So it just, as a viewer, and that's like that. My question was not anything
Well,
against what they're doing.
it's a
I'm fine
question
with
of
it.
ethics then, really,
Well, but it's,
you
my
know?
question is like, how do we feel as just Joe Blow watching this channel, and all of a sudden they're sponsored by a large company?
Mhm.
Is that, I mean, there could be good because, hey, now they're getting an influx of cash. They're going to improve their stuff. Maybe they can bring people on to improve their production. Like, I do all this myself when I do my videos, and sorry, a lot of them aren't that great. I don't compete. I can't compete with some of these professionals. But if some company came in and gave this Board Game Life a bunch of money, hey, now we can hire someone. I'd be like, here's my video, fix it, make it look pretty, and post it. Because now we have money to do that. So that, I think, is a positive for Dice Tower and Man versus
Sure.
Meeple and anyone else that does it. But then there's that question of, well, if they're reviewing that game or a game from that company, can we trust it? Like
No,
we used to
that's
before.
I would say, you know, we can until they show us different, right?
Yeah.
Because, the nature of a review is to review. And, if anything influences that, then that's not cool. But yeah,
Oh well, not a big deal. Just something I thought
no,
of.
definitely.
So
It's an interesting scenario. And it's been talked about a lot over the years. I think even um with just like regular reviews, if you're going to be provided, let's say, like a copy of a game and you're reviewing it, are you more apt to give it a positive review because it was given to you? You know,
that's a good
like,
question. And if the stars align and things work out, maybe I'll have to answer that question in the near future.
yeah. So the thing is, it's all just a matter of ethics, right? In terms of, are you going to give a genuine review, which is like the basis of your channel,
Right.
or are you going to let yourself be influenced?
Yeah,
And
see, I would hope that I wouldn't be influenced by that. And that's like, I think that's why I struggled with that what I would call a negative review of that game, because I kind of felt like I don't want to rip on this tiny company. It wasn't a terrible game,
no,
but
but
there were some things that really I was not happy about. And I think I approached it fairly. I hope I did. And I think if I was, I mean, I have requested to test or preview some stuff from a company. I had the opportunity, thank you, Rob, to sign up to request that. Doesn't mean I'm going to get to do any, but if something were to come my way, it sounds like you're going to get the game, and I'll find out more in the
sure.
future. But if it was something that, I think if the agreement was like, you have to review this and you have to say good things about it, then I'd be like, no, I want no part of it. But if I had the option of like, okay, if it was kind of like, well, do a playthrough, or if you're free to do what you want and they just didn't want you to say anything negative about it, then I would do a playthrough.
No, I mean, there's nothing
you
implied
know
whenever you get anything.
yeah, I well,
It's
that's what
more
I'm saying.
like, here. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to lie. I wouldn't want to be like,
No,
this is great when
exactly.
it sucks. that's why I'm like, okay, if I can do a playthrough, then I can just play through the game and show people what it's like. Let them determine up what they think of it
Sure.
and not say anything. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be holden to a large company unless the check was big enough. I can be bought. That's all I'm saying.
There you
I may
go.
not want to be bought, but gosh darn it,
There
I
you go.
can
We
be.
can't trust any of Mark's reviews from now on.
I haven't been bought, so they're all my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
His price is so high, it's unreasonable. It'll never happen.
yeah.
Unless a McRib's in town. Give him a McRib. It'll be good.
Yeah, but even a positive review like a McRib, over time, your review will change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways,
Anyways.
that's it.
Okay.
Let's move on. I
Look,
got things to do.
yeah. So you can look forward to seeing that review soon.
Well, you're
If
going to get
not,
an unboxing today. So,
yes, yes.
and I think I'll post it tonight too.
Okay.
Even though I've got stuff the next couple days. This is something people want to see.
It's
So
getting bumped.
I'll get this unboxing out today.
Excellent.
So
All right. Look forward to that. Okay. So I guess that's it for episode 91. Right? Do you have
that
anything else you wanted to add, or
all
should
right. Well,
we
since
take
I
it
do
out?
the Rob, I got one more thing.
Just one more thing.
One more thing. No, I've talked enough. So
All right. So let's call it here. Thanks for watching, everybody, or thanks for listening. For those that are listening to the podcast, this is it for episode 91. We'll catch you all in 2 weeks with the next one.
all right. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Don't forget, I do have one more thing. Like and subscribe to our video channel. Hit our bell icon so you will know when new content's coming out. Right now, I've been putting out something new every day. I've been just posting stuff.
Cranking.
10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm dropping a new video every day. I'm going to try to keep that going as long as possible. So with Dice Throne missions, I should be good to do that for a while. But I am going to do a couple more reviews. And in fact, I'm going to do a review here on Dice Throne missions. Now that I've played 4 of the missions, I think I've got enough feel that I could do an actual review, but I'd like to get some more because I'd like to get into the harder leveled missions. But after I play, I'm going to do a couple more, but who knows? I will have a review on it here soon. And Final Girls Series 3, I'll be doing an unboxing of it tonight, but that'll drop special tonight as well. But just, yeah, hit that bell icon so you know when we're dropping new content. And maybe someday I can get Rob to do some content. And I got to hit Nick up again. He wants to do some stuff too, but then he got really sick. So I got to check in with him and see how if he's ready to start doing some content for the show as well. So
Sounds good. All right.
Take care, everybody.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.